Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited to share with you guys 20 micro habits that I do in my daily routine. So basically I'm going to be sharing a bunch of small little tasks and habits that I make sure I do every day, and we're going to go through a full 24 hours. So from when I'm going to bed and sleeping to when I wake up, throughout my afternoon, my work day, into my evening routine till I'm back asleep again. I feel like this is super fun because I a lot of times share like these bigger goals and habits that I'm setting for myself or that I do throughout my days and my weeks. But I like this video idea because we're getting very nitty gritty, okay? Super granular, all the buzzwords about what I do every day that's like very small, that a lot of these things I didn't even realize I was doing. It's just kind of subconscious at this point, or they're super quick and small. You're like, really, you're including that as a habit? But I am, because I really feel like the small habits that we do every day are what help change our lives in the end, and that make a big difference in the quality of our lives and our goals and everything like that. You want all these healthy habits in your routines to get to the point of where you don't even have to think about them. You just automatically do them every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have really been loving these like sit down podcast style type of videos. So I'm excited to continue with more tips and tricks and more advice and things that I'm doing in my life that I wanted to share in case you can take a few things for your own personal lives. So let's get started with going to sleep the night before each day. The first micro habit I do is I put my phone on sleep mode. So basically a do not disturb setting that I customized to allow only certain people and notifications to come through my phone. So if you didn't know this, a few updates ago, you can now customize your do not disturb settings on your phone, which is super great. I have like a work setting, a vacation setting, and a sleep setting. And I make sure to put the sleep setting on every night. So only the most important people in my life, where if I knew they would like contact me if there was an emergency, or like certain notifications that are again emergencies, come on while I'm sleeping. And I set that on do not disturb like as I'm getting ready for bed, just because I don't like being on my phone right before bed. We'll kind of get into my evening routine at the end of the day, but as I'm going to sleep, I go on sleep mode. My second micro habit is no blue light. So we're keeping it super simple. I use my Kindle every night on dark mode so that, again, I'm not on my phone. I put my phone across the room, usually on sleep mode, go to my Kindle for the last like hour and read before I go to sleep. My next micro habit, I don't actually do every day. I'm trying to get in the better habit of doing this, but ideally I would use mouth tape at night. Okay, now this is kind of one of those crazy wellness habits that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. If you know Lauren Bostic from Skinny Confidential, they talk about it a lot. She even came out with her own brand of mouth tape that I did not get. I just got these disposable mouth tape pieces from Amazon, and I will say I think you can reuse them like once or twice if you're careful enough, if you don't want to like dispose one every night. But anyway, it's like less than $10 for this pack. A lot of times they say it does help with better sleep. Some say that there's physical features that look better when you sleep with your mouth closed. I am a mouth open sleeper, and so they just say like you get better quality of air through your nose and stuff. So there's a bunch of benefits that people claim. Again, I don't know how much is researched, but I thought why not try it, because if there's any benefit, might as well try to get it into my routine. So again, something I am not a stickler for, but I am trying to use mouth tape on the nights when I can remember to do so. Okay, so then we go off to sleep, and my first habit in the morning is to wake up to a light or a soft alarm. So this is where if I can wake up at a time of day when the sun's coming into my windows, I prefer to do that. But we all know certain days you need to wake up earlier, or I want to get up earlier and just it's still dark out, and so that's where a light from an alarm clock comes in, aka the Hatch, or a knockoff of the Hatch. I don't need to go into detail about it. I've talked about the Hatch. A lot of people talk about the Hatch alarm clock. It just wakes you up with light that mimics a sunrise, and also the alarms are very peaceful and beautiful sounds like birds chirping or like a flute. And so just having that sound in the morning is a lot calmer than like my phone alarms that literally if I hear the alarm I used in college, like instant shot of adrenaline. You know, it just is bad memories that pop up when I hear that alarm. So I love having a more peaceful wake up in the morning. It really changed like how I get out of bed. My next tip, super micro, but I make my bed every day. I started doing this probably in middle school and it's just stuck with me. I literally can't go about my day if my bed is not made. I do wait a few minutes after I wake up, as I've explained this I think in a morning routine, where I've heard to let your sheets breathe. Again, this is something that I don't know if it actually works, but I just do it in case it helps. Obviously your body, it gets Obviously, there's a lot of bacteria that builds up in your sheets. That's why I wash them once a week as well. But I've heard that, you know, you can leave your bed sheets open and not like make your bed as soon as you get out of it. So I make my bed usually an after hour. I wake up, I have my coffee, I journal, read, and then I will make my bed before I like start the rest of my day. And that just gives my sheets like time to breathe and like air out basically. Then in the morning, my next habit is to take vitamins. I have been loving taking the Ritual Symbiotic Plus. This is a pre, a pro, and a postbiotic. Love this when I take one of these, and then I take 2 of the Ritual Essential for Women. This is the multivitamin for 18 and up. These I love. They have like a minty aftertaste with them, which is so nice and refreshing in the morning. Like it's great for even if you like haven't brushed your teeth yet, or after you brush your teeth, if you want like a little minty freshness in your mouth in the mornings. I love how the vitamins do that, and I'm obviously getting my everyday vitamins in. So I do have a code because I worked with them recently, so I'll link that below for you guys, because I think this is just a great like starter supplement if you don't know what to take but you just need like a multivitamin. This is a great place to begin. And then another one that's just kind of there, but I am drinking water 24/7 throughout the day. I think everyone needs an emotional support water bottle, as they call it. I have different Stanleys, different types of water bottles, or at least a glass of water, but I personally prefer a bottle that's larger that I can just fill up a few times throughout the day. I'm not constantly filling up a glass of water, and I love having a straw. I really do. I think it helps so much. If you haven't tried having, you know, a go-to water bottle every day, you're probably living under a rock. But it's definitely a great way to track your water intake, and I'm just like drinking this all the time while I curl my hair. Like while the wand's in my hair, I'm taking a sip of water. While I'm working, I just grab a sip subconsciously. Again, it's something I at this point don't even have to monitor because I've been so particular about drinking water over the years. Now I don't even have to worry about it. I'm just know I'm getting usually enough water each day. You guys know I love my outdoor walks. I try to do this 3 to 4 times a week, either in the mornings or in the afternoons, but the days that I do make it a daily habit are just so great for getting outside, especially if it's sunny. I try to get like fresh sun on my skin. I try to get sunlight on my skin and my eyes in the morning, but again, if my mornings don't allow for it, going later in the day as like a post-work cool down evening walk is also super nice. I love moving on to my next habit of listening to podcasts and audiobooks throughout my day. To me, it's just a great way to pass the time. Sometimes I'll listen to music, but a lot of times I like listening to podcasts or audiobooks just because I do have a lot of time where I'm just like doing tasks that I can listen to something with. Like obviously editing a YouTube video, I can't listen to something while doing that, or filming, I can't listen to something. But a lot of my day, I'm driving, I'm cleaning, I'm just working on my laptop, and so I'm able to kind of have something in the background. And working from home and by myself, it kind of helps to have, you know, just a little something on in the background. So that's why I love podcasts and audiobooks on loop throughout the day. I probably listen to like 2 or 3 full podcasts every day, and I'm just now dipping my toes into adding audiobooks like while I'm cooking and stuff. My next micro habit is something I've been doing since middle school, because I think I learned this like from YouTube, like very early on Beauty Guru days. They would say to rinse your hair with cold water in the shower to make it like shinier and healthier. Again, this is just something that I didn't even realize I was doing it till I like really thought through each step of my day and like what habits I have ingrained into my body. So I don't take cold showers. I just take my normal shower, and then like if I'm washing my hair that day, I'll rinse the conditioner out with cold water. Your hair is getting so much heat damage from just your showers and your products and blow drying and things like that, that I think it's just nice to give it like a little cool mist, and obviously like using the cool setting at the end of blow drying my hair, little things like that. So I'm sure that the cold water helps a little bit, but I do feel like I have pretty shiny hair. I don't know if that's to thank for it, but it's something that I do. I do my dishes immediately. So if I'm cooking, I'm cleaning while I go, and even just like grabbing a plate and making lunch or having my coffee in the morning, as soon as I'm done with that meal or drink, I put the dish in the dishwasher. The only exception is usually like if the dishwasher is running and I have to wait to unload it and then do the next cycle. But I am so big on doing and like putting your dishes away immediately and just being on top of that, because no one likes to have them pile up and get to the end of the day or the next morning and you just have a sink full of dishes. Like that is honestly one of my things I'm like biggest about when it comes to keeping my space in my apartment clean is dishes. I hate having dishes in the sink, so making sure that I put them away like as soon as possible. The next habit is one that I am starting to implement more this year, and that is using clean skincare and makeup products. Just using products that are less ingredients, that still work really well, but that like are vegan or have less parabens, things like that. So like this is a local Wisconsin brand for like this hand salve that I really like, that's garden, smells like a garden. It's from Good Flower Farm. And then I also really love Typology. You guys know that they have been a sponsor of mine, and I'm obsessed with this brand. The makeup, the skincare works so well, and they're actually clean because they're a French skincare brand, so they're made in France. They follow those EU guidelines. Okay, then I have 2 habits I do while working throughout the day, and these 2 I realized a few weeks ago that I've actually never shared these habits, but I do try to implement them just for myself. The first one is actually from Andrew Huberman, and it is to look out into the distance every like 30 minutes to an hour of working. I have sadly noticed that over the past year, I'm becoming more nearsighted. And Andrew Huberman says, you know, a lot of times with our generation, we're doing everything at close distance. Like I'm looking at my phone, looking at my computer, I'm reading, I'm spending hours looking at things close and very few hours looking far out. So every 30 minutes to an hour while I'm working, when I think of it, I try to like look into the distance. It's kind of hard when I'm working from my apartment building, but I try to just like look at the sky, look at something in the sky, look at the next apartment building over, and try to just focus on something in the distance to hopefully strengthen my long distance sight again. This is such a random habit, but it is something that I'm working on. The next one is having my phone and my laptop at a correct height. This is one that my chiropractor told me about in high school. He was like, you're looking down for your laptop for school, for work, you're looking down at your phone for reading. Whenever possible, try to have your laptop or your phone or whatever you're looking at to be at like your eyesight height. So this is when a standing desk is super great. Laptop stands, I mentioned in a vlog, I even stack books, like really thick books up on my kitchen island, like when I'm working from there. Like if you work a job where you're constantly looking down at your computer, you know how your neck and your back start to hurt. And so if you haven't yet, get a laptop stand, stack some books, or just elevate your workspace so that, like physically elevate it so that you're not straining your neck as much when working. The next habit is to call my mom while I'm in the car. This is something that's great because it reminds me to keep in touch with my family, and also it's something that I know like at one point throughout the day I'm usually on the phone with her. Sometimes we'll skip a day if both of us are busy, but usually at some point throughout the day I'll do a little check-in, call her, and just like having it habit stacked with driving really helps because I don't have to maybe break up my work day, or you know, at night I FaceTime my boyfriend, and so it like has its own separate time, and I really look forward to calling my mom. So mom, I know you're probably watching. I haven't mentioned habit stacking, but it is super great. So like it's when you add 2 or more habits on top of each other, and it makes it a little easier to do. For example, going on walks and listening to a podcast, you're stacking 2 habits. Getting in the car and driving and calling my mom, that's 2 habits that like my body already knows to drive. And so once I add in calling mom, it makes it easier to get that in the habit of calling her when I get in the car. Okay, my next micro habit is I try to only have alcohol 1 to 2 times a week, usually just on the weekends. This also goes into saving money. I'm filming a video also today of like 10 things I stopped spending money on, and drinking at home is one of them. I feel like when I was in college, I was like, oh, it'd be so nice to have a glass of wine with dinner, like on my pasta night on Thursday. And yeah, that is fun, and it was like new and different because I, you know, wasn't able to have wine in my apartment before then. And so it was like a fun experience, but now I just have like absolutely no desire to drink on weeknights, or if like I'm not with friends. Like I'm not a huge wine person. I would much rather just drink water and have like an Olipop or something after dinner. Like that's just a personal preference. And so also I think health-wise, it's really helped me that I don't love drinking a ton. I really just drink maybe a drink or 2 on the weekends, or go out and have a bigger drinking night like once every few months with friends. But alcohol is not something that's like part of my weekly or daily routine. Okay, we're getting close to the end. My next micro habit is having dinner at home and cooking myself dinner every night, or like a few times a week, and then having leftovers. I really only go out to eat on the weekends, and I only eat out when it's like a social activity. Again, I'm gonna go into more details in this because this is one of my like things I stopped spending money on, is like personal takeout. So I'll talk about that in that video. I personally just love cooking as well. It's very therapeutic for me. I love trying out new recipes. I love being in the kitchen. I love like listening to music or a book on tape. and just like spending time in the kitchen. I think it's such a great way to get off technology. I know I just said like I have my headphones in, but my hands and my eyes aren't looking at technology. And so it makes it really nice to do that every night to kind of wind down. Okay, we're getting back into my evening like pre-sleep routine, and so my next habit is to wear a nice PJ set for bed. I got this Skims PJ set for Christmas and I absolutely love it. You may be like, why is this a habit? Like you're just putting on comfy clothes. No, like I have my lounge clothes that I wear, you know, when I'm working from home or like in the evening when I'm watching TV. And then like before I get into bed, I put on this PJ set that's literally just for sleeping. And I feel like it's the perfect way to signal to my brain like, okay, we're putting on our matching PJ set. We have our life together. We are looking cute. We're comfy. It's so soft and cozy. And like, this is what we wear. It's time to go to sleep. It's just like romanticizing your days, romanticizing your evening routines. Obviously, you don't have to buy the Skims version, but even if you get like a matching PJ set on Amazon or a Durf Avenue one, like I used to be the girl that would just wear t-shirts to bed, like just any like college old t-shirt, but having this PJ set has really just romanticized my life. Of course, I mentioned this, but I wanted to make it an official habit, and that is reading before bed. Before I got my Kindle, I would obviously read like physical books before bed, which is super great. Definitely an amazing habit. It's like one of my favorite habits I've ever cultivated is reading. I just love the way it's improved my life and makes life so fun and something else to look forward to at the end of the day. It's a great way to disconnect from my day and work and thoughts and people. It's just like it's me in my own little world in my books. So if you're wanting to start the habit of daily reading, I made a whole video at the start of the year going through like my tips and tricks for getting into reading and reading more. So I will link that video down below. Okay, and then my last habit is having white noise on while I sleep. This is something I use my Hatch alarm clock for. Again, I actually love the Hatch even more as a white noise machine than even as an alarm clock. I love the wind down feature. I usually put like my Hatch on red light, and I have this all set up in the app, but I put the red light on while I'm reading and then I switch it to white noise, and it's just so peaceful. I love going to sleep with white noise. I've always loved having like a fan or air conditioning on, but having like rain sounds while I sleep is so peaceful. And I don't know if this is true, but I kind of feel like it signals to my cat Spruce as well that it's time for bed. I think the white noise like signals to him like, okay, Hannah is sleeping. It is time to go to sleep as well. I'm not just awake, you know, laying in bed. It's time for both of us to have our nights. So anyway, those are my 20 micro habits. I may be missing one or two that are just kind of random that again, I don't even think about. But if you want a part 2 to this and I think of more, I'd be happy to do that. But as you can see, these aren't anything crazy, just little things that I do every day that I feel like better my days and make me a better person and make me feel better and make me achieve my goals quicker. Your habits don't have to be these huge life changes that like completely change you as a person, that completely change and disrupt your everyday routines. They can just be small little things that you add and you tweak to make your each day a little better. And I feel like that's what's really important. It's just like the small things rather than the big changes. Because eventually the small changes will lead to big changes, but they're easier to implement. That was a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informational and motivational. If you learned any new habits that you're gonna start implementing into your routine, comment them below, or comment down below a micro habit that you do every day. You may have to think like, what am I doing without even realizing it's a habit? I'm sure you got some things in your routine. And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you like these kinds of videos. I absolutely love making them for you guys, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.